Welcome to Text on Text. This is Jed Sundwall. This month we're talking about Pluribus, the first episode about a TV show. Yes, I consider TV shows to be texts, literature, whatever you want to call it. They're culturally relevant. They can be very good. Pluribus is very good. Anything by Vince Gilligan, in my experience, is very good and worth discussing. This is a great show. Good luck watching it if you have Apple TV. This is easy. It is kind of by design. I think it's part of Apple's strategy is to put out shows that people talk about a lot that might push you over the edge to get Apple TV to watch it. If you like stuff that Vince Gilligan has done in the past, you'll probably like this. This is not like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul in terms of, it's not so much about drugs and crime. It's very, very different subject material. But anyway, highly recommended. It's a good watch. It's just 8 episodes. And I'm really grateful to have Kevin on, a really great guy to talk to about it. Somebody who's just about as enthusiastic as me about the show, if not more so. And as has happened a lot with this podcast, I've never talked to Kevin for more than an hour, and certainly, not a conversation like this. And so it's a joy to be able to do this. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, Kevin, welcome to Text on Text.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, great first episode of the year, and the first time we'll have talked about a TV show. We're going to talk about Pluribus, the new show on Apple TV. But before we get into it, I have to ask: are you a technologist?
Okay, before I get into that, let me just say I'm glad to hear you say that, because over the break I was like, wait a minute, this is text on text. So I'm like, should I have read the book first before joining?
Yes.
So I had a small panic attack, but then I'm like, no, this is going to be about the TV show.
Yes.
But good. So am I a technologist? I love technology. I've worked with technology my whole career. I studied engineering in school, worked as an engineer coming out of school, got into remote sensing, worked for, I actually started my career working for an aerial remote sensing company. So we'd fly planes around, and fun story, and this will date myself. At that time, we were using film cameras, and this was in the 2000s. So this wasn't like in the 70s or something, but in the 2000s, aerial photography was done with film camera, and they were 9x9 pieces of film that needed to be developed in a dark room, and then processed and scanned in. And then that's what created like aerial imagery back in the day. And this is when obviously digital camera technology was booming, but that's that's the origins of my career. Hiring Cessnas to fly around and do this film photography that we made into digital. So that sort of ignited my passion for remote sensing, and I ended up at Digital Globe, which is a satellite company. It morphed into something called Maxar, and it morphed into something that I don't remember the name of now. But so I spent a long time in satellites and remote sensing. I started as an engineer, then moved into product management, then moved into like business development and partnerships. So,
okay.
Am I a technologist? I guess. I've built technology. Obviously, we all use technology, and I keep up on the latest in technology, at least in my field. Right now I'm at Development Seed, which is like the coolest company in the world.
Agreed.
Oh, cool. I'm glad. Well, yeah. I was going to say Radiant Earth is also in the sphere of coolest companies in the world, but I've always loved Development Seed. And I was lucky enough to join them 2 years ago, and we build technology. Like, that is what we do for a living. There's 60 of us now at Development Seed, and we are building what I consider the cutting edge technology as far as it pertains to location-based platforms, machine learning and AI, of course, and all sorts of other interesting things. So work in tech, background in tech. I don't know if I'm a technologist though. Like, I'm not going to put that on my LinkedIn.
You you could. I would say you have license too, as far as I'm concerned. And
All right.
we can continue the development seed love. I mean, development seed is I refer to it as our engineering team. You know, it's the engineering arm of Radiant Earth is development seed. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so say the last thing I'll say about and just some of the best people in the world, like
I
just
agree with
humans.
that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Like, there's a correlation between very intelligent people and people who are kind and passionate, and like development seed has like found where those two intersect, and that's the group of people I work with. Like, I'm blown away and like humbled every day going to work with the dev seed team. So
I love it.
Appreciate that shout out.
Of course. I mean, yeah, it comes from the heart. I now also feel obligated because we do work with a lot of companies in the geospatial space and support a lot of people. There are many great companies
yes.
in this space. And this is also true, like comprised of really great people, but
I agree.
Big fan of Development Seed and have been for a long time. So, okay. So we're going to talk about Pluribus, which is Vince Gilligan's, I mean, should we refer to it that way? I mean, it is kind of like, everyone's all eyes on Vince Gilligan after Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's the new show on Apple TV. It's Apple TV's most watched show of all time.
Wow.
I don't know if they report like what those numbers actually mean in terms of like raw, like numbers of eyeballs or whatever, but it's been somewhat successful. Although, go ahead. I mean, you were saying that you don't know a lot of people have watched it.
Oh yeah, no, I actually didn't know that fact, that it's the most watched TV, because they've had long running series that have been on several years. So I don't know if it's eclipsed those in terms of viewership or, I do know,
Yeah, I mean, this is the hard thing about counting things like that over time, because like Severance was very highly watched and Ted Lasso was very highly watched.
Yes.
These are all becoming the point. I mean, Apple, I mean, good, shockingly, I would say they've gotten into TV and have like pretty quickly become very, like, created some culturally very relevant things and people talk about a lot.
Totally. I am a huge fan of Severance, and the show itself is great, and their marketing behind it is genius. And I think Pluribus falls under that same like ethos of like, just like, I remember when I first watched Severance, and same with Pluribus, both series, I'm like, this is such an amazing premise. Whoever came up with this is a genius. And with Pluribus, as you mentioned, Apple TV, Vince Gilligan's, I think it's his brainchild. He wrote it. I just watched a clip on YouTube, but it was for Apple TV, where he said he wrote the role for Ray Seahorn, who just won a Golden Globe for Best Actress.
That's right. Yeah.
She's incredible in this show. And to see her in real life compared to her character, it's so funny. But she's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we were chatting just before, and I was saying, like, you know, Netflix and Hulu are mainstream now, but I feel like Apple TV isn't quite there yet. Like Apple TV, you know, if there's a lot of people that aren't lovers of the Apple ecosystem. I feel like they probably aren't watching Apple TV if they're not in the ecosystem. But you can. I mean, you don't have to be an iOS person to enjoy the TV shows on Apple TV.
Actually, do you know how? Can you get Apple TV on other things? I guess. Like, I honestly have no idea. Like, we have an Apple TV console thing on our TV, and so yeah, we're pretty all in on Apple stuff.
Yes, and you know, we are too. But I have an older TV that's just like a smart TV. So Apple TV is just one of the apps.
Okay.
So you don't need to have an like if you have a smart TV
Okay.
with apps, you can just
Okay.
open up
Apple
Apple
TV is
TV.
just another app that you can
Yes.
get on there. Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's a service you have to pay for, of course.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say, like, I think what I was saying before, like, you know, good for Apple for, I'm like a begrudging fanboy of Apple. I mean, like, my family, for some reason, I think it was my older brother who like twisted my parents' arm. We bought a Mac in like 1984. So like right away.
Like the first customer.
The first one, yeah. Like, so like, for some reason we got a Mac when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and they could not keep me off of it. Like, I was like just like so drawn to Mac Paint and Mac Draw.
Oh yeah.
And just anyway. And I've just been an Apple partisan ever since. And then just this past year, I bought an iPad for the first time begrudgingly because it somehow happens. I don't think it's going to happen with the Vision Pro, but like Apple releases a product and I will resist it. Like, I'll actively be like, I'm not doing this. And then within a few years, I will have one and I'll be like, this is actually awesome. Like, I love my iPad. Like,
yeah.
And I wouldn't mind. I'm like, I don't really need this. And then I kept thinking, like, I could use it for this and that. And like, I read a lot of stuff on it, and then it's great for travel.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Then there's also this.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
The watch for those listening. Yeah.
Yeah. Apple Watch. When I like, I've worn this every day since I've got it. And that was, I think that was like 4 years ago. But it's great for, like, it's such a great piece of technology, as is most of their stuff. Yeah.
So, well, I'm lingering on this just to say, like, I am a begrudging Apple partisan, and I was leery of them getting involved in TV and this and that, but like, they have, I think, established themselves as like pretty quickly as kind of like HBO caliber, prestige TV, and like,
I agree.
And so as we talk about the show, I have some misgivings about Vince Gilligan having too much power now. Because I think he's masterful. His team, you know, whoever, I don't know that much about like how TV gets made, like who the showrunners are or like directors of photography, but like there's a way about him and you can just see how indulgent I feel like this Pluribus has been for him. But anyway, I think let's get into it. I mean, why don't you tell the story of Pluribus? This is an all spoilers podcast, and you can talk about why you thought it was amazing.
Okay. Yes, sure. Yeah. No, yeah, this is definitely spoilers. So at this point,
go for it.
Yeah. At this point, listeners, if you don't want the show ruined, you should stop. But
yes.
I've watched a few sort of behind the scenes things with Vince Gilligan, and he is a creative genius.
Okay.
Like, I will send you, there's a short 2-minute clip, and maybe we can put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
How they created this rig for Ray, also known as Carol in the show, when she was driving the pickup truck in the first episode.
Amazing.
With the unicorn on it. Yeah. They showed how they did that scene. And I've never seen anything like this. And he explains why they did it, but she was not driving it. It was hooked up on a trailer, and there was a 180 degrees of curved LED screens in front of her. So she couldn't see the real world, but she could see what was projected on this, and she was reacting to it. Yeah. And then the real things were happening behind her, like people out in the streets. And Vince was like, yeah, no one's ever, the interview's like, what do you call that thing? He's like, I don't know. No one's ever built it before, but we just needed it for the scene. And when you see this rig, it is unbelievable. And it's pulling this like 1980s pickup truck with the unicorn spray painted on the hood. Well, painted Amazing. On the hood, I guess. So yeah, he's definitely highly creative and a master at his craft. Yeah, but the premise behind Pluribus, and it's almost a crazy, like the first episode is just so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And it, starting with, hey, we're receiving a signal from an alien planet, and
Yeah.
all these scientists going crazy in the arrays of radio telescopes that are receiving this signal, and it turns out to be a protein, like a formula,
Yeah.
which for some reason they tried to create in a lab. So every good sci-fi show has like the lab scene and the lab
Yeah.
gear, and then there's an outbreak. But not to like dictate the entire first episode, but what happens is there's essentially a virus that outbreaks and strategically takes hold of the entire population. Like, I went back and there's a part about like, do the people on the space station have it? And she's like, yes, they do. We were strategic about that, so they made sure that it got to every corner of the world.
Yeah.
And essentially created a hive mind, which is awesome sci-fi. Anything about a hive mind is always going to be cool in the sci-fi world.
Yeah.
So almost 8 billion people on Earth are all connected through this hive mind, and they can all think together. They know everything. Like this hive mind knows the collective intelligence of 8 billion people in the world, minus 12 people who for some reason, maybe it's because of their immune system or DNA, there are 12 people that are immune to the hive mind, and one of them is Ray Seahorn, who plays Carol Sturga. And so she obviously has no idea what's going on. Everyone's behaving like it's almost like an apocalyptic scene when this happens. She has no idea what's going on, and the first good portion of the show is her trying to figure out exactly what's going on, just by interacting with people. And the cool thing is, it's not an evil virus. It's like a kind, like what I really, and this is where, like, every show we've seen like this with a hive mind, the hive mind has had some terrible motive, like kill everyone, destroy the world. But this hive mind wants peace. Well, okay, you're looking at me like maybe, but as far as what they've communicated, and she writes this down on a whiteboard, like, they can only tell the truth. They don't want to hurt her. They don't want to hurt anything, meaning, and even like they won't kill animals for food. They won't pick fruit off trees. So they don't want to harm anything, and they want to live in this peaceful coexistence. There's no more wars. There's no more politics. There's no more politicians. They don't talk about people who are in prison, but I'm assuming people who have been imprisoned are free. Animals are free from zoos, so they let all the animals out of the zoo. So it's almost like this utopia they live in. And their goal is to get those 12 remaining people as part of the hive mind.
That's right.
Because I feel like that is the threat to their existence. If those 12 people can somehow figure out how to reverse it, and it seems like there are some vulnerabilities, like they want to politely and kindly get Carol and the other 11 to be part of the hive mind. So, okay, I'll pause there.
Sure.
And I want to get your take if you think that was a good overview. And then you looked like you weren't fully convinced that this hive mind has good motives.
Well, right. I mean, I mean, that's what's so great about the show. Is it opens up. This is such a really interesting debate around morality, right? And personal morality. So, like, very good recap. I just want to share that. So my experience watching the show for the first time was actually awesome, because there was something wrong with, I don't know how this happened, but for some reason it started like 15 minutes into the first episode. So for me, the beginning of the show was seeing the security guard working at the lab at the vending machine trying to get something out of the vending machine, and then some lab tech come out and just kiss him on the mouth, like she's acting really weird and kisses him, and then like some other guy goes and kisses the janitor on the mouth, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, take me away, Gilligan, like I'll watch anything. And I'm just like, all right, I kind of see what's going on here. And so I just have to kind of like extrapolate what's going on because I hadn't seen the beginning.
I see.
And then next thing I know, I see Carol Sturka like doing a reading, because she's an author. She writes like fantasy romance novels or something like that. And I'm like, all right, I'm just along for the ride. And it was actually like fine. Like I was like, it was actually kind of like a cool way to be dropped in and understand what was going on. I went into the show, which I do, it's too late for listeners, but like, I recommend anybody who does watch the show, just go in cold. Like just, it's a fun ride. So just go in not knowing anything about it. The other thing I'll say, and I think this has been a criticism I've seen a little bit of the show, and this is why I would say like Gilligan has too much power, is that it's a slow show. Like it is a meandering, lingering, indulgent, incredible photography. You have the character, the guy in Paraguay driving to New Mexico from Paraguay, like all that scenery. There's a lot of just like long passages of stuff. And this is the thing. I mean, I do think Gilligan excels in this. There's tons of this in Breaking Bad. There's tons of it in Better Call Saul, where he's like, he loves to film and orchestrate these scenes of people doing things, building things, not dialogue, just like watching people like do stuff, which is awesome. Yeah. So it is a thin story. I mean, like your recap is like basically it. I'll get to my misgiving about them being benevolent. Comes from actually a really great scene. I think that might be in the last episode, which is so one of the 12 people. So first of all, Carol's kind of an outlier among the 12 people who are immune to this, and that she's very upset about it. It's her and one other guy in Paraguay that are like, not okay with this.
Yeah.
All of the other people have living relatives who have gotten caught up in the hive mind, who they still interact with and who are nice to them.
Yeah.
And so, and one of them is a woman, a girl who lives like in some like Indian,
in Peru.
Peruvian, in Peru. Yeah. Like little village. And she's like, Carol meets, they have like a conference, they all meet together. And she's like, no, like I want to join my family. Like I want to join my family in the hive mind. And so they show so the hive mind figures out how to like basically get the virus RNA thing into her.
Yeah.
And she does it. But what's so awesome about the scene is it opens up, like you get to see her Peruvian village life and like goats and chickens and like fires going and like, just really typical day in the village. And then the plane flies over and it lands somewhere and they come and they bring it the medicine or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the procedure works and they're like, great, let's pack up and go. And like somebody just like dumps water on the fire and they just abandon the village.
Yes.
And so this appearance of benevolence is because they are recruiting her. They're like, our goal is to make sure that like you join. And
that's true.
What happens when they all join? Like anything that's like human or that individual humans care about disappears immediately. They're like, we're not Incan villagers. We're going to go. I think they've said like their big project is to build another, what would you call it? A transponder?
Like an antenna broadcast. Yeah.
To broadcast the same signal elsewhere,
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right. And maybe they're only nice to those 12 people.
Yeah. They might also be nice. It might be true that like they will continue to never kill anything or not even, harvest apples. That all might be true, but I think the point is like this idea of like benevolence or kindness no longer matters if there aren't individuals or something.
Yeah. one of the things I literally have a little note that I started writing down like questions during the show. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I gotta, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And one of the observations I had is like, there is no more individualism. Like, what is their purpose? Like, what is their purpose really? Just to spread? Like, why even exist? Um, because they have no creative expression. They have no choice. Like they all seem to be programmed to run planet Earth as efficiently as possible, and maximize the use of resources. The part where they're all sleeping in the like the basketball stadium, the
Yeah.
arena, was
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. But to them, it was like more efficient to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's the part about creative expression really manifested itself nicely when because Carol's an author,
Right.
and so because they're hive mind, they all know Carol's entire
Yeah.
her whole series of fictional books that she's written, the Waikaro, I think it's called.
That's right. Yeah, we got to get the pronunciation right because they like complain about it in that first episode. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Waikaro is right, but yeah,
I think it is. Yes,
Yeah.
and for them, there's once they joined, and they do call it joining. There's nothing new for them to consume. Like they know they have the complete body of knowledge of everyone in the world, and there's nothing new. There's no new TV shows. There's no new. And so when she starts writing again, they are all thirsty for that because it's like new information.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. And I think it parallels like technology, like especially AI technology today. Even though I think he wrote this several years ago, but there's a good parallel with agentic AI and foundational models where all they know is what's on the internet, like
Right.
and they can't really generate an AI can't generate a never thought of before plot.
Right.
It's all based off things it knows, and that's kind of what the hive mind is. Like there's no more creativity, but Carol has creativity because her brain is disconnected and she can come up with scenarios and ideas that they all like are thirsty for. Like they crave that new thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and she says something too, because she's so frustrated with the other people who are just like kind of passive about the whole thing. And she's like, if you're upset with me for doing this, like, savor this moment because this might be the last opinion you ever have. Like you're done. Like,
yes.
And yeah, the other people are, I mean, there's the one most interesting character who's a guy from like Mauritius or something like that. Like, I don't know who he's from.
Yeah.
Who's just like, this is awesome. They will do
Yes.
whatever I tell them to do, and I'll just do it. And he's got beautiful women hanging around him, and
he takes
pretending to be
One.
a James Bond. Yeah.
Yeah. He takes Air Force One as his vehicle to fly around in, and now he's living in like a penthouse in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he has like a Lamborghini for every day of the of the week. And he has he's living his best life with no intentions of changing anything. Because basically this hive mind is like serving him this
they
experience.
Love him.
Yeah. This
whatever. They'll say they love him or whatever, but yeah, like they're like, sure, like whatever you want. Like they'll do anything to kind of, and it's like, are they doing this to seduce him? I think there's a clue that like, absolutely, yes, they are. One quick aside, I have a theoretical short story in my head that I'll never write, but I call it The Happy King. And he is the happy king, which is basically, I just wanted to write a story about somebody who's like very powerful and gets whatever they want and they're happy. It's because it's like most stories are just like, here's this powerful person or they have everything they want, but like, careful what you wish for. There's a cost, or
Yeah,
he's like,
torture.
no, this is actually, I love this. This is awesome.
Yes, yeah, he is living like a king.
Yeah.
Which is funny. But so I was thinking, in riffing off that,
Yeah.
Carol, her character is, the way the show portrayed it is like she's the most miserable person on the planet.
Right.
She is. I don't think she's the most miserable, but she's not fun. So she's angry. And she basically
She's a
just
cranky
holds up.
person.
Yeah, cranky,
Yeah.
and she holds up in her home for like months.
Yeah.
Whereas the other people are out living a good life or having fun. And so I was like, okay, if I wasn't part of the hive mind and I had access to anything, what would I do? So like, imagine all the places in the world you could go see. You basically have access to free travel anywhere.
Yeah.
Go see all the wonders of the world. Go see, like, I would be, obviously I would want to be respectful of resources and stuff, but I'd love to go see every country. Like, let's go do every country in the world.
Yeah.
And experience the food, the culture, and it's completely safe and like costs you nothing. So that's one thing I would do. Another thing, and this is actually what I went to first, was, okay, the hive mind knows everything, including all classified information.
Oh, wow.
So tell me everything, and the US has secrets, every country has secrets. So tell me all the classified information that the government has kept from us, like who killed JFK? Did we really land on the moon? And yes, I'm a believer we landed on the moon, but
you want all the evidence.
Yes, all the evidence. What about Area 51? Have we found aliens? Where's Amelia Earhart? Do we know where she crashed? Then, like, do we have a theory on how the Egyptian pyramids were built? So I'd want to know, like, tell me every conspiracy theory, whether it was true or not.
Yeah.
Because there's like thousands of them. And then tell me all the insane stuff that none of us ever knew about. Tell me crazy things that happen in society or in history that there are no conspiracy theories for.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of that. So I would just be asking them questions, because in theory they would volunteer that information.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you have that list ready. Keep it handy. I mean,
yes.
But then to what end, right? Like, there's that episode where Carol is like, she goes to a fancy restaurant, like she gets all dressed up.
Yeah.
Like there's, and this is the thing. This is the thing again about sort of the overindulgence. And I don't, when Vince Gilligan watches or listens to this podcast, I don't want his feelings to be hurt too much. Like, I see what he's doing and I get it, and I'm glad he has the long leash to do it. But it's like, maybe some other shows would have some pressure to be a little bit tighter with the storytelling, right? Like, it's a pretty slow 8 episodes in some ways. But like, I think it's like a whole episode or something, like, where she is living her best life. She's like, okay, fine. Like, I'm going to do the things. I don't want to be, Las Vegas guy with a harem.
Yeah.
That's just not like necessarily her speed, but she's like, why don't I just like live the life I want? But like, no, like it doesn't work by yourself, and it's like, I'm picturing sad Kevin knowing like, well, I know all the answers and like, I can't, no one cares. Like, no one's around to talk to about this. Like, it makes no difference to me.
That is so true. Yeah, it is kind of, that is very sad to think about. And but I would say, okay, invite my friends over. And even though they're part of the hive mind, have
Oh,
them
man.
act like they're still my friends or my family. Like
Wow.
because okay,
Yeah.
for the guy who's in Vegas, I think his last name's like Diabete or something.
Yeah.
Um,
We gotta look it up. Yeah.
he has these like supermodels like sort of attending to him, like bringing him food and following him
Yeah.
around. So he's instructed them, and this is like, he's given them instructions to treat him like a king.
Yeah.
So would you be able to say, okay, for all my friends and family, even though they're part of the hive mind, act like you're still my everyday friends and family and
Yeah.
put on a show?
Yeah.
And that got me to thinking. And I actually saw someone post this on Reddit, which I thought was hilarious. And like, wasn't John Cena on it? It's like,
Yeah. He's one of the. Well, how do they say they're like? I am the individual that was John Cena, like,
yes,
or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
But they wanted to produce a friendly face that Carol would recognize to deliver a message. So
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, so someone put this on Reddit. Like, I would summon the entire Seinfeld cast to my home: Jerry Seinfeld, George Costanza, Kramer, and have them like reenact Seinfeld episodes in my home, like, as a performance.
Yeah.
Or you could hang out with your heroes.
Yeah.
Like I would. I'm a big Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, so I'd have Larry David. I want Larry
Quite a
David.
hero.
Yes. Not saying he's my hero, but if he's watching, yeah, Larry David's my hero. But a heroic comedian, and I'd be like, okay, I want Conan O'Brien, Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld to come hang out at my house for the day, and don't act like you're the hive mind people. Act like the original characters, please.
So that's fascinating, though. That's a great thought experiment, because it's like,
yes.
Would that work? And my guess is that it wouldn't work. Like, just based on from what I've seen on the show, because so the individual who represents the hive mind who you see the most is, can't believe I forgot her name. I should look this up.
Zoja.
That's right, Zosha. Who she is. And have you seen Ex Machina? Have you ever seen the movie Ex Machina?
I think I watched it on a plane.
I've watched it on a plane. That's how I saw it. That's the one. It's filmed at this like amazing house.
Yeah,
but it's about a robot.
The robot, yeah, who's like a servant, but then is that something like that.
Well, so it's a. Let's see. I'll recap all spoilers podcast. So if you've watched Ex Machina, stop listening and go watch it, because it's worth your time. Young engineer at a tech company wins some prize that he gets to go hang out with like the CEO founder, who's this kind of like god level, tech founder guy who lives in this incredible house. I think it might even be in Greenland, or it's like in Iceland or something like some beautiful kind of Nordic forest or something like that. And he gets out there. It's kind of a weird scene, but there's an absolutely beautiful like humanoid robot. Who basically seduces him. And what's revealed, and this is a big reveal. So again, don't listen to this if you want to watch Ex Machina, is that he didn't really win a prize. He was just sort of like a rube. And because he worked for like Google, Facebook, whatever the big tech conglomerate was, they knew his whole like browser history. They knew what kind of like ladies he would look at on the internet, and they're like, he will not be able to resist this woman.
Yes.
And that was true. Same thing with Zosha, the hive mind. They're like, also, maybe it's kind of an interesting, important plot point. Like, Carol is gay. She was married to her publicist assistant, who she worked with as a writer. And her wife died in the process of the hive mind taking over. Like, it was a calamity. Going back to your sort of recap, it was a calamity when it happened, because it was like basically the entire planet, every person on the planet goes into kind of like a hard reset mode and is catatonic for a number of minutes
Yeah.
while their brain is rewired. And so some of them are like flying planes at that time or driving cars, like, so, but most people live. Carol's wife takes a fall, hits her head, and dies. Like,
yeah.
And so when the hive mind is like, we got to send somebody to Carol because she didn't convert, they're like, let's find the woman in the whole world that, based on everything we know about Carol, that Carol will be most attracted to.
Yes.
And send her from like Syria or something.
It was, I went back, I think it was, she flew out of the, what's so funny is she's like working in a field and she gets the instruction, goes to the airport. It was the Tangier airport. So Morocco, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes. Close. I mean, yeah, that part of the world, but yeah, she was in Morocco.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best scenes of the show, where
it is an amazing scene. Yes.
She
go on.
Gets into the C-130 and just takes off. Like she walks, or she drives
like
to the airport,
scooter,
gets in a C-130, goes down the runway. There's still a crashed plane on the runway that they're trying to clean up, and she's like, yeah, I have enough room, and just takes off and flies to New Mexico.
Right.
And the little hidden thing is, and there was a scene, she looked exactly like the guy who's on the cover of the Y Caro. So she was like the female doppelganger of the guy.
That guy, yeah.
And Carol was like, that guy was supposed to be a woman.
Right. Based on her wife. Like,
yes.
I think that was the,
And the hive mind knew all that. And Carol's like, how would you have known that? Only me and my wife, who passed away, knew that. And the hive mind.
Yeah.
Oh, what she said is like, during that hard reboot, they were able to like download the information from her wife. So they knew all of Carol's history and the shared conversations that she had with her wife. And so they find the one person on Earth that was the doppelganger of the person on the cover of the Y Caro book series. And that person, because they share all intelligence, anyone can fly a plane or do a surgery, or like everyone is like fully capable of doing any task that any human in the world can do, which is such a cool thought as well.
It's awesome. Yeah, because it's such a trip. You're watching this and you're like, what is happening? Who is this character? And it's just like, she's like helping clean up like bodies, like,
she's on
kind
like
of a
the
gruesome
cleanup
scene.
crew.
Yeah. And then just like, message received, she gets on the scooter, goes, cleans up, flies a plane across the world. And so that my point though, like your vision of just being like, bring me my friends and have them be my friends, or bring me Conan O'Brien or Larry David and have them be them. This is a trip, because Conan O'Brien and Larry David are also the ones that are characters that aren't really who they are, right? Like, there's something else, which is interesting in and of itself. But the point is, like, Zosha knows everything about Carol's wife. Sorry, what was her name? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I've done like no prep for this. I can't remember anybody's names.
Was it Helen? I think it was Helen.
Yeah, it's Helen. You're right. It's Helen. I just looked it up. So so the hive mind knows everything there could be to know about Helen, but like Zosha doesn't have Helen's personality. She's not like Helen. Right. And the funny thing about like hanging out with comedians too, or imagining that, is that like, is there comedy in the hive mind? Like,
would they be able to come up with a quip? Probably not. Like,
they can maybe like tell some jokes that like had been recorded, but like, I mean, boy, we should talk a little bit more about like, I mean, the AI element to this, which is to say like the show, I feel like, does a pretty interesting and compelling job of showing you what a hive mind could be like and how it might behave, and then also like what's lost in the process, like
Yeah.
because you're everything you've been saying, like the individualism is taken out, and like, well, what does that mean? Like, what are the implications of that? And it seems like they're pretty big.
Yeah. 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 And there's a quote recently about AI. I think it was Karpathy said this, that, AI they're summoning ghosts and not creating. Yeah.
Was this on the Dwarkesh podcast? I think
Yes,
I remember.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put this in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was and he's spent, 15 years working on AI as probably one of the like world's leaders on AI. And basically what he said is, we're not doing any creationism. We are summoning the ghosts of the internet to respond. And that's a good, metaphor for the hive mind. I think like it only knows everything that's happened in the past, which is a lot of stuff, but it's not, to your point, it's not going to come over and crack a funny joke about like a situation that's happening in real time, because they probably don't have that comedic sense anymore. Because they're so like methodic, like they're and this is an open question, like what is their purpose? It seems like on the show their purpose is just to be as efficient as possible with everything, like the way they are creating energy for themselves, the way they're consuming energy. But yeah, they go ahead.
Sorry, but they say it's wonderful, like, and again, I don't know if let's assume that Carol's right, that they cannot lie. And so let's take them at their word. They're like, Carol, you don't understand how wonderful it's going to be when you join, like how wonderful this is.
Yeah.
And like, so is the purpose to create a new life form that is glorious and wonderful? But then also like to what end? Like it's a question that we can't really comprehend. And like, there's a book we talked about on the podcast. I don't know how many episodes ago, but what's it called? It's an Arthur C. Clarke book. I'm just like looking for it. I just gotta look it up on the website. I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but it's about aliens. It's a very similar story in the sense that like it's about I can't believe it. Okay, it's called Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke.
Oh, okay.
Where aliens come, visit, and basically they have just like spaceships like parked, in space or like upper atmosphere, and start communicating with people, and then hang out for like 50 years.
Okay.
Until so they don't actually reveal themselves to humans for about 50 years, because my sort of reading of it is that like it takes a couple generations for people to just kind of get used to it. So you have people growing up just being like, yeah, those spaceships have basically always been there as long as I've known them to be, as long as I've been around, and they've always never done anything bad to us. And then, but at some point they flip a switch, and it's a hive mind thing. All the children on the planet get snatched up into some hive mind situation, but it's much more spooky and weird because they become catatonic. Like they never come out of the catatonic state. They don't. They just stop talking.
Okay.
And they can also make stuff float or something. Like weird things happen, like things like floating around. But the point is like the hive mind happens. And this, again, big spoiler on that book, but I think you might enjoy the book. It's still worth reading. It's an interesting read.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
But the point is like there's no point in trying to communicate what they're doing, because they're just on another plane. It's like another level of consciousness that like we just can't comprehend. We don't really understand what their motives are. Like it means nothing to us as individuals.
Yes. And and it's also reminds me of like someone asked Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an astrophysicist, if alien life exists, and obviously he can give his opinion, and well, have aliens ever visited the Earth? And one of his responses to that is, aliens may have visited the Earth and found no form of intelligent life on Earth and left.
Right.
And maybe that happened
Yeah.
last week.
Right. Right.
We think of ourselves as this intelligent life form, but look at what we do. We are destroying the planet. We're killing each other. We go to war over the dumbest things in the world. We invade countries. And this takes place, it's January 2026.
Sure.
Where our own U.S.
Is there something going on?
There's something going on where our own U.S. government is patrolling the streets and killing U.S. citizens. And after stuff like that happens, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it would be better if we were the hive mind, because we are not displaying intelligent methods of living on this planet and living together. Like, there's a lot of really dumb things humans do. So contrast that to Pluribus, and maybe Zosia's right. Maybe it is way better to not have violence, not have war, not have killing, where everyone is working together towards the same objective. Not to be like political or anything, but it's a crazy time to be alive, and we are doing ridiculous things to one another for no reason at all. Like, it doesn't need to be like this.
Yeah. I mean, yes, humans are weird. We're a violent, erratic creature. We always have been, and make terrible mistakes all the time. Collectively, and it's just part of the struggle, there's not that I'm like I'm not trying to like downplay what's happening in the country right now, because it seems quite extreme. But as a casual student of history, I'm just like, we've always been totally crazy. Like, I think you and I are very privileged to have grown up when we have. It's been, I think the time that we've grown up has been anomalous in how mellow it's been. And we're kind of getting back to like, again, not that we shouldn't keep fighting against it, but anyway. So you remind me, there's a Talking Heads lyric, which is that heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. And that is, and again, it's like all of it's so interesting. All the stuff that you were talking about, like what you would do if you had that autonomy and you had the hive mind at your beck and call to just be like, where do you want to go today? And you're like, tell me all this and that. And do you think the hive mind cares about any of those things? They don't. They're like, who cares?
Right.
Like, none of this matters. None of this is of any consequence to us at all. And I think it does kind of like corroborate Neil deGrasse Tyson's idea, which is that like, just as this is also a theme in the three body problem. Is that like, if you have an alien life form or intelligence that is just on another level, we will be like bugs to them.
Yes. Yeah.
Just as like we see bugs, we're like, all right, don't know what those guys are doing, and we're like, they're clearly not intelligent. It's very easy to imagine other beings looking at us and being like, oh, there's just these weird fleshy things, fighting all the time.
Right. No, that's a great observation. And maybe we are just a potential host for this virus. Like thinking about it in sort of like a contrarian viewpoint, like maybe we are just hosts, and this is just a stop along the way for them as they're going throughout the universe. Maybe there's another planet that, and maybe this is why they're building that antenna, is there's an objective and Earth is just a truck stop for them.
That's right.
And hey, we're just going to stop, refuel, replenish, and because our destination is somewhere else.
Yeah.
And in that case, we are just bugs and hosts.
That's right. which, you know, might be true. Like, are you familiar with the concept of panspermia? Which I think, I'm not sure if it gets talked about in the show, but um, panspermia, because it's fun to say,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm not going to
is
guess
the
what it is. So I'm
okay.
going to wait for you to
So
tell me.
it's the hypothesis that life exists throughout the universe, distributed by cosmic dust, meteoroids, asteroids, and comets.
Okay.
This is the AI overview actually from Google. I just looked it up, suggesting life on Earth originated elsewhere and traveled here rather than forming solely on our planet. And so it's anyway, it's a concept, it's a theme of it shows up in a lot of science fiction. I'm reading right now the Project Hail Mary, which is by the guy who wrote The Martian, which it also discusses panspermia.
Yes.
But that's also this, you know, so you can imagine that like life has just been floating all throughout space and just being like distributed to different planets. And that, yes, like the signal that's being broadcast, which is DNA or RNA, it was, but you know, that's the point. It was like 4 bands because it was like TCGA or whatever they are.
Yeah.
And so it's like basically like the DNA actually is a literally universal standard for encoding, like, you know,
that is
life.
True.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, like if we just broadcast this bit of code, anyone who's able to figure out what it is, they'll create it. Mm-hmm. And if they can, then great. And then we're off to the races and we're creating this bigger thing. And like, and that is the goal. And all of our concerns and all of Carol's concerns really won't matter at all. And but that's what, but she's, I don't want that to happen to me, you know, and she doesn't want, you know, it's death.
Yes. Yeah. It's death. Yeah. The life that you've lived would be over and you're now taking on this new life with a different purpose and a different set of values and yeah, her and Manusos is the guy in Paraguay.
That's right. Yes.
Who's awesome. Like,
oh yeah.
Awesome. But yeah.
So belligerent and stubborn and crazy. Like,
so belligerent.
Yeah,
like
really
they're bringing him like gourmet meals to eat every day. And he's throwing them on the ground. And instead he's like eating like rancid peanut butter and stuff.
Eating dog food and just licking a can lid. Like, cause there's just like, it's horrible. An amazing scene. Yeah. Cause he notices flies flying around and he's like, oh, if there are flies flying around that trash, that means there's like something to eat there. And he's like, I'm going to go eat it too. Like, crazy.
Oh my gosh. Good. And the journey he makes, I love that episode. And it's cool. Like for people who are into geography, cause he's trying to drive from Paraguay to the US. And there's a big challenge in Panama called the Darien Gap, which is to this day, they've tried to build roads, but the roads always get demolished by Mother Nature. Like it is the most like inhabitable place on the planet. For a variety of reasons, there's all these like poisonous trees and snakes and there's drug cartels that will kill you. And he tries to cross it, which I thought was an awesome, like cool piece of geography that like a lot of people don't know. But it was interesting to watch him do that. But yeah, he is so belligerent. And he also has a really cool line. And he might've said it to his mother or who used to be his mother, that like everything that the hive mind has was stolen from the human mind. So they have all this intelligence. They have all these places to live and a planet to live on, but it was all stolen. Which, you know, it's hard to argue that like they stole it. And what's really cool and sort of the cliffhanger is he might have a way of reversing it. Like, and him and Carol, who are the only 2 people in the world who are actively like trying to fight back against the hive mind. May have a way of stopping and reversing it. But that's going to be like a future season. So we have to wait for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is another, I mean, I'm a Latin America guy, more or less. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Venezuela and Brazil and Argentina. And so,
Yeah.
and I, in my 20s, like fantasizing, like, I'm going to do a road trip. I'm going to drive from like, I wanted to get this kind of, I lived in Venezuela, and they drive these Land Cruisers there, which are
Oh
like
yeah.
very popular in the like oil fields.
Yeah.
It's a similar model that's like very popular in Saudi Arabia. They're awesome. They call them machitos.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna buy a machito. I'm gonna drive to America,
Yeah.
to the United States. And it's like, no, that's just not a thing that you can do. Like,
I
you
think
can't.
I think you can take a ferry. I think you have to, like, there is a way to do it, but you
There's
have to you
There's
have
no
to
road,
get
though.
off a road. Like, there's literally no roads that connect through the Darien Gap, which is crazy.
Yeah. I remember looking at maps and being like, oh, that can't be right. But like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's another, I mean, I think Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul also, because they're all filmed in New Mexico, as is
Yeah.
Pluribus. Like, there's I just really love all of the, not just Mexican, because it's so close to Mexico, it's literally New Mexico.
Yeah.
But also just all of Latin America, like, is represented really well in a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
there's
is.
an amazing line that's hilarious. Also, kind of like, if when Carol's like, I need to talk to this guy in Paraguay, and they call him, and like he doesn't want to talk to her, or like hangs up on her, and she gets really mad, and she's like, Chinga tu madre, quebrón. Like,
Quebrón, yeah.
She calls him quebrón instead of cabrón, and like, and also like Chinga tu madre is like, they don't say that in Paraguay. Like, that's just a total, just purely Mexican thing to say.
Sure.
But like, she doesn't know that. She's like, this guy speaks Spanish, and so she just wants to say like,
and he's
what would translate roughly.
That's a weird thing to say. Yeah.
Quebrón is so good. It's an incredible delivery. She deserves a Golden Globe, like, just for that. Like,
she's absolutely awesome in this role. Speaking of New Mexico,
yes,
I think you might have referenced this, but for the show, where Carol lives, she lives on a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
And you can look this up on Google Maps right now. This cul-de-sac it's completely fabricated for the show. Like, and if you look at it on Google Maps, it's not connected. Like, there's no paved roads between it and Albuquerque. Like, it's dirt roads. And then all of a sudden there's this paved cul-de-sac with these 7 like beautiful custom, like Southwestern type homes where Carol lives in her little neighborhood. But Vince Gilligan, he said to avoid all the logistics of shooting in the city, which is what he did for Breaking Bad. And like, today you can go to the Breaking Bad home and people still go there, like, just to see it. He wanted to create something separate just to make it easier for them to shoot the show. So because I'm a nerd, I went onto Google Maps, and specifically Google Earth, and you can adjust the time slider on Google Earth and go back in time looking at satellite imagery. And this is what I posted on LinkedIn. And
I'll put a link to the post. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. What's so funny is, like, sometimes I think about a LinkedIn post for like a few days. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool. And then like 2 people like it. But one afternoon I found this thing on Google Earth, and it was like during the holiday break. Yeah. And I just created a GIF of 5 images, and it's a time series of 5 images that starts in the desert. Like, it's desert, southwestern desert. And I live in Arizona. So it's like most of the Southwest looks like this. Then all of a sudden you see this cul-de-sac being built. The middle image, and I can't believe they got this, but there's a part in the show where she goes out and uses white paint and paints a message on the street to the hive mind, because they've abandoned her. And so she writes on the street, come back, because they're like watching her with like predator drones and stuff like this. So she writes, come back, and they do come back. And that image was caught by either Google, or it might have been Airbus. It might have been an Airbus satellite. So that's on Google Maps right now. So I put it in the GIF. And of course, like, that post went more viral than any like serious post that I've done over the last year.
It's while we're talking right now. That's when I was like, we got to talk. I think so. I was like, okay, let's go. Like,
yes, I think I posted two things over the holiday break. One was Vince Gilligan's take on AI. He does not like AI, and all the shows end with there's something in the credits that say humans created this show. Like,
yes,
which I love that. Like, AI is great and helpful, but at the end of the day, it's we live in a human to human world. And humans are the ones who are creating music, who are creating stories, and like AI could not make Pluribus. There's no freaking way. So he's very much like a artisan. And so I posted his take on AI, and I basically said, hey, in 2026, let's have more human created things that we share on LinkedIn and social media. Because I feel like in 2025, people got extremely dependent on like ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, generate me a post on LinkedIn, and they would just like copy and paste it, and it was so obvious, and it still is. So let's have more human interaction. Like, even if your post has typos, and like I'd rather
have to have typos now.
I'd rather see typos than an AI generated thing. So I posted that, and I think you made a comment like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching it." And then I posted the satellite imagery, and you're like, "Okay, that's it. We're talking." But yeah, I did a couple Pluribus posts on LinkedIn.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's clearly like so timely, and you know, it's interesting. You said, you know, that he wrote this before, I guess, before ChatGPT became what it is.
I think he mentioned he was writing it, like he had this idea during Better Call Saul.
Okay.
So maybe he wrote it, you know, in 2023. I don't know, but it seems like he's had this idea for 5+ years.
Yeah. Well, so there's a preview. I know at some point this year I'm going to do an episode of this podcast about a short story by Roald Dahl that basically predicts ChatGPT. It's called The Great Automatic Grammatizer.
Okay.
Grammatizator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Grammarly.
yeah. Basically, but it's about a machine. He wrote this in 1954. You know, it's basically like we've been speculating about robots and thinking machines and stuff like that for a really long time.
Yeah.
But where it's like, yeah, we built a machine that can write books and stuff. And you know, it is so interesting how, so like, again, skipping over a bunch of plot points, but like Carol is abandoned for a while. And then she becomes very depressed, and that's why she paints you're, as you said, like, you know, come back.
Yeah.
But then there's this confrontation where Zosha, she catches Zosha hanging out with Manusos.
Yeah.
And Carol's like, no, like Zosha's mine. And and like, don't, like, Zosha's like, well, we love him too. And she's like, but like, don't you love me more? She's like, no, like, we love everyone. You don't understand. And like that need, like the need to be needed and the scarcity of attention that we can give one another and things, like the meaning in our lives comes from those things, like from those things, you know? And so like, just because they have all of Helen's memories and experiences and they know her and they ostensibly love her, and it doesn't matter if it's not like exclusive, you know? And like, it's just, it's such an awesome exploration of like, again, yes, there's an appeal to your point before. It's like, it would be awesome if humans just got their act together and were very thoughtful about collaborating on things and not wasting resources. And also, I think we would lose everything that matters to us. At the same time.
Yeah. Yes, we would lose our individualism, our free agency, and the thing with Zosha is really interesting because they shared like an intimate moment, like beyond just Carol talking to the hive mind. They like started developing well, Carol started developing feelings for Zosha.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
was intended, as designed, is
Oh
like
yeah.
they want Carol to be attached. It's
Yeah.
working, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
Carol's, they abandon her, but then Carol's like, no, actually, like I want you to be near me. Like, and by doing that, she's saying, I'm open to continue to be seduced and exposed to
Yeah.
the risk
Yeah.
of being caught up in the hive mind.
Yes. Yes. And then the question is like, okay, does the rest of the hive mind feel those same feelings that Zosha's feeling? Or do they not care? Or
I don't think they care.
yeah, they probably don't care.
It's just, it's all
But
an
they
act.
know what's going on.
Yeah, they know what needs to be done, which is to get Carol converted. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's start wrapping it up because this has been awesome. But
yeah.
I want to talk about this ghost thing just because it reminded me of it. Would just talk about like creating human things, and why I think we're aligned on this. But like, there's a song that I love very much called "Snow is Falling in Manhattan."
Okay.
By what's the guy's name? But his artist name is Purple Mountains. The album is called Purple Mountains.
Okay.
He was a guy who I can't remember any name, which is like really funny. He had a band called Silver Jews before. David Berman was the guy's name.
Okay.
Of course, I knew that. So anyway, amazing guy, absolute poet, and this is a little hard, but like the album ended up being like a suicide note, and it's like it's an unbelievable album, like it to the point, like it's really good, like you enjoy listening to it, and like you put it out, and everyone's like, oh my god, like he hadn't put anything out for like 10 years or something like that, and then he shows up and drops this album, and everyone's like, this is incredible, and then he's about to go on tour, and then he killed himself. And then you're like, oh wow, and then you go and read the lyrics, and you're like, oh man, this is the best suicide note anyone's ever written. And like but so there's this line in the song which is songs build little rooms in time, and housed within the song's design is the ghost the host is left behind to greet and sweep the guest inside, stoke the fire and sing his lines. And kind of like once you realize what's going on, it's just like such a gut punch. He's like, I made this for you. I left this behind for you, and like, and just the idea of like rooms in time, you're just spending time listening to this song, and you're with somebody, and I never knew him or anything like that, but like, it's very, very powerful. And so thinking about that in the context of like a foundation model, which is like, oh no, we just got all of it. Like, and it's like, no. You think you're missing something there.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's
sorry to throw that at you.
Parallel. It's an interesting parallel. One of my favorite bands was Alice in Chains, and Lane Staley committed suicide when he was very young. And you go back and listen to his music, and it was songs about being tortured. And another band I loved and still do is Linkin Park, and Chester Bennington killed himself despite having this beautiful life, but his lyrics like are the same way. It's a call for help. So I definitely have had those same emotions where the person's gone, but that the lyrics and the songs remain forever. And that's kind of like there's a parallel with Pluribus, because a lot of people actually passed away. I went back and it's something that I totally missed, but almost 1 billion people pass away during the conversion. It's like 960 million people pass away. So all like 1/8 of the world's population disappears, but the hive mind has all that information. Like it has access to all their memories and who they were as people, which is just another crazy thought experiment that that everything will live on through the hive mind, assuming that they choose to procreate, which we don't know if they're going to do that. But
yeah, I was wondering if you knew that. I meant to ask that, but yeah, we don't know if that's part of the plan.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, so there's a Borges story, which might be the last thing he ever wrote. We talk about this guy Jorge Luis Borges a lot on this podcast, but Argentinian writer. He's like the patron saint of this podcast. But he has a story called Shakespeare's Memory, which is a total trip.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy who it's just a very weird story. He meets somebody, I'm not going to go into all the details, but he meets somebody who's like, hey, I can give you Shakespeare's memory. I have it. It was given to me, and I'm going to give it to you. And all you have to do is say, I accept Shakespeare's memory, and then you'll get it. Huh. And so he's like, okay, let's go. And he does it. And so it's also very related to severance, in this understanding of like, does your memory of your life, is it an essential part of your identity? I think obviously that is true.
Yeah.
But like in severance, you have like two sets of memories and you end up with two different people.
Right. Yes.
But like a really interesting thing that happens in reading Shakespeare's memory is you realize that you're like, having Shakespeare's memories doesn't make you Shakespeare, and it doesn't help you even understand him that much.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yes, the hive mind knows who Helen was. It has all of her memories and information. It has the memories and information about everybody who's ever interacted with her. So that creates a really robust picture of like Helen.
Mm-hmm.
But Zosha's never going to be Helen.
Right.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, we need each other as individuals.
Yeah. And it almost like as you were saying that, like it's almost like we as individuals, one way you can sort of understand a person is how they react to a situation. Like, they eat a food and have a reaction. They watch a show, have a reaction, or listen to music, have a reaction. Like, and that is unique to that person. It's also funny because reaction videos are like one of the most popular mediums right now on social media, like YouTube, Instagram. It's just crazy. People reacting. Like, I'm just going to sit here and watch something happen, so you can watch the thing that happens and then watch my reaction.
It's bizarre.
But that's what makes us like individuals. And I think we crave that. Like obviously we crave it because that's why it's so popular on social media. Like I want to watch this person react to something that they've never seen before. It's almost like, oh, you've never seen the show, let's watch it. And the show is interesting, but you're more interested in like how that person reacts to it.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you want to share something with somebody. I was talking to a friend of mine recently about like, we both have this memory from like 20 years ago of, I don't know if I can actually tell this story, it'll land. But the point is like, he met up with an old friend of his. It's my friend Spencer. Shout out Spencer if you're listening to this. Right. But like, we met up with an old friend of his, and Spencer and I were both really into Modest Mouse, and we put on a song and called Other People's Lives. It's just kind of a jam. And he's like, oh, you got to hear the song. You're going to love it. And his friend was not feeling it. And like, we're just driving around in his friend's truck, and like, it was just so great, like how palpable it was just in the truck. It's like, this guy is not enjoying this song. Like, he's trying to like be cool about it and trying to like be like, hey man, like, you know, like it's good to see you again, and like be like a good sport. But like, you know, like you just know, like if it's not working,
this guy's not into it.
Modest Mouse isn't for everybody for sure.
Yeah.
But do you know Christopher Wren? He does Earth observation stuff.
The name's familiar, but sure.
You've encountered him on LinkedIn for sure.
Probably.
He has a podcast called Earth Sight that's really good. They just talk about throw cold water on all sorts of like Earth data hype. He's great.
Okay.
But I was talking to him right before we recorded, and it's what you're saying about social media and reaction videos, I think is relevant to this, in that like, he's like, there's you can see it happening on Substack and on YouTube and on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. It's like everybody's starting to adopt the same voice. They're starting to do the same things. They're starting to like, follow these same templates. And he's like, I don't want that. Like,
yeah,
you and we were talking about like how, he has a podcast. I have 2 podcasts. Like,
yeah,
I write a fair amount. We publish stuff on the Radiant Earth blog, and
yeah.
I refuse, but I don't look at analytics. I very, very rarely look at analytics because he said something really insightful, which is just sort of like, if you start paying attention to those things, like the reaction you're getting and basically to the hive mind, what the hive mind wants, that is inevitably going to pull you away from like what you have to offer.
Okay. Yes.
Because you're just gonna be like, okay, this is the kind of thing gets huge reactions based on this algorithm right now.
Yes.
I'm going to lean into that. And it's like, be careful.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. Like,
yeah,
if you know what's trending or what's getting the most views or even the most comments, it might bias you into like, oh, okay, well, let's stay on this topic because it's doing so well. So I definitely like the more Puritan way of just doing what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. And who knows, like maybe nobody will watch this us talk about Pluribus. But I've certainly enjoyed talking to you about Pluribus. So to me, this was awesome.
Well, we do know that the hive mind will get it. The YouTube, this will be on YouTube. So
yeah, it'll be transcribed.
Whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be transcribed. It's gonna make its way into something. So
yeah.
Happy to contribute.
Yeah. There you go. Open AI.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for indulging me. And yes, it is fun to have a friend to talk to the show about because I don't have enough people to talk to about it. So
likewise, it was great to talk about it. And if anyone's reading or watching this and want to talk about it more, hit us up. Because it's not like it's mainstream right now. It's not like it's Stranger Things on Netflix.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, just real quick, I did look it up. It is Apple has released something saying it's their most watched show ever with no numbers. They don't share those numbers, and apparently, Ben Stiller, who's like producer of Severance, he doesn't even know how many people have seen Severance. So,
oh my god,
we don't. Which actually is perfectly complements what we were just saying. It's like, who cares?
Yes.
Just make awesome shows and let's go. Like,
that is really cool because know that's an industry that's completely driven by those metrics. By remember the Nielsen ratings on TV? Nielsen ratings and like all film and movies, they look at box office and how many theaters and how many showings. So that's actually cool that Apple TV is not doing that.
Totally. I mean, look, if we have companies that are this cash rich or people that are this cash rich, just do cool stuff with it. Like, you don't need to, so kudos to, thank you, Tim Cook.
I agree. Keep making these awesome shows.
Yeah. And I mean, Rhea Seehorn. I mean, anybody who watched Better Call Saul knew, like, she was just a superstar. Anyway, so much goodness. Thanks so much. And I'm going to find an excuse to do it again sometime. So.
All right. Thanks, Jed. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Jed.
All right.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun for me. A lot of fun for me to re-listen to it as well, as it always is when I edit these things. We did not cover so many things that are really interesting about the show. This is the thing that happens a lot when I make these episodes is all these things are really deep wells that you can go down. And as I've been sort of reflecting on the conversation, as I listened to it and preparing for this, there are just so many things I wanted to talk about that we just didn't cover. One of those being HDP from the show. So the concept of human-derived protein and how the hive mind perceives human life and normal sort of like human values and ethics and things like that. There are just so many other things we could talk about. Fortunately, it seems like there's going to be season 2 of Pluribus, so we'll have time to get back into it at some point in the future. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if I've announced this here before, but I have another podcast. I have a work podcast called Great Data Products. Much tech here. It's about data. We talk about what makes a great data product. Anyway, you can go to greatdataproducts.com and find that. And then just putting this out there, I mean, I don't know, honestly, I don't know like that much about who listens to this podcast, but if you're interested in geospatial data, we did announce, a while ago, we've announced the CNG Forum, which is our Cloud Native Geospatial conference that'll be at Snowbird in Utah in October. So pretty early days. You can get early bird pricing. If you go to cloudnativegeo.org, there's a big link, to information about the conference. So check that out. But one thing I'm thinking about doing at that conference, so you heard it here first. No promises yet. Is we might do an in-person live recording of Text on Text. We're going to have some night sessions at the conference that we're working out, and it's an idea that I'm kicking around. So anyway, stay tuned on that. As always, thanks to Secret School for recording the music, the intro music for Text on Text, and this song that you're hearing right now is 3/10 of the Population by We. Thanks again to Kevin for coming on. Thanks again to all of you for listening. Recommend this to a friend if you think they'd like it. Like and subscribe, leave me good reviews, all those sorts of things, or really do whatever. I'm just going to do this anyway. But thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next month.